people. Understand what's going on in our society. It's breaking down. We're in a lot of trouble. We need God. I want to hear Dr. Phil. I like Dr. Phil. I like psychiatrists. I had no problem with counselors. They're great people. But they need to tell people what, like I'm telling you, we need God. I can't save my own life, much less yours or anybody else's. But I know one. I can point you to one that can, that loves you in a way nobody else can understand. They can't hold a candle to it. The way you need to be known, loved, and understood by your owner, our divine parents, God Almighty, male and female, He created us. It's all very cosmic and pure and clean and cool and good. It's cosmic, man. We're part of something big. We're like children of God, little gods, therefore, with incredible potential, virtually unlimited potential. If we can imagine it, we can make it manifest. It's so cool. And our parents want the best for us, just like any parent, even a crappy parent. They don't want their children to experience anything negative, bad, painful. They don't want them fearful or insecure ever. So you understand there's good and evil in the world. And only God can point us in the right direction and give us the power, the wherewithal we need to overcome these evildoers. And it's happening now. This is where the rubber meets the road. We can't take it anymore. We deserve what we get. And what others get, that's the worst part. We're always stronger than somebody else. Think about others that aren't as strong as you. I visited my local soup kitchen here in Chico, this place they call the Jesus Center a while back. Had a great time. I said, you know what, God, I don't want to go in there mouthy. I just want to listen to these people. Went in there. I had a cup of coffee. It was very enjoyable. These are normal. These aren't criminals. Remember, if they were criminals, they'd be safely ensconced behind bars with 3 hots and a cot. At a cost of, some people are throwing out outlandish figures. I never heard. This ain't because of the privatization of the industry. Sometimes high security and $500,000 a year per inmate. I thought $50,000 was outrageous. I mean, how much would it cost to keep a man's nose clean? Would he take $25,000 a year? Keep your nose clean, buddy. Here, this is so you won't get desperate, so fearful that you commit a crime. So you can get 3 hots and a cot. You just don't care. You throw concern to the wind and you commit a crime because you're desperate. I mean, what motivates crime is not a mystery. Everybody knows. Ask a criminologist. Well, it's usually money. All of it, white collar, blue collar, all of it, homicides, you name it, man. And the dubious war, the national and individual debt, the social welfare industry. And people call me a liberal. I'm a fiscal conservative. I want you to have lower too. Why wouldn't I? I want everybody's cost of living lower. That the cost of living is a tax. So yes, I want it lower. I'm a big-time fiscal conservative. I want progress. I want your money to go up in worth, not down. I'm on your side. I'm on everybody's side. I don't want to take anything from anybody. But I definitely do want to allow everybody to have, so we can all be free, financially free from the financial tyrants, the monsters, the money masters of misery and their multitude of mindless minions. So what should I title this video today? Maybe a secular government is basically a pagan government? Or secularism, a popular road to ruin. Or maybe establishmentarianism is the popular path to perdition. Or perhaps those who know the game is rigged and still comply are destined to destruction. Or perhaps God help America off of the path to destruction. Or maybe thank God our money-based unreality is finally on life support. You like any of those titles? We'll see what I go with here, but I don't know. Well, listen, my friends, I think I'll get into some talking points, recent current events. I haven't been writing too much down because so much nonsense. We got this Trump impeachment. Hey, it's a big wag the dog political move. I mean, these people are vying for lucrative jobs. That's all I see it as. That's it, man. I mean, your Nancy Pelosi's, I mean, the criminals. Can you imagine our alternative if we had Hillary in there and Slick Willie lurking around the halls of the White House, looking for his next intern to violate. I mean, give me a break. Is that what we wanted? That was our alternative to Trump. And I told everybody a million times why I voted for Trump, but he's letting me down. And I will completely abandon him. And I'll recommend everybody else abandon him unless he gets something concrete done about this homeless issue. About the cost of housing, telling everybody how great the value of your house went up. This is great. Now Wall Street's running high and we got everybody working. We got jobs and all this crap. Hey, Trump, don't you be a disingenuous people are what I can't stand. And I'm just feeling this from all these people, the Democrats, Republicans, just a bunch of liars, man. They're all in lockstep on the scam to rip off the American people forever if they can get away with it. They need parenting, all of them, including Trump. He needs to be told what's what. Who's his boss? We the people get our way. Trump doesn't get his way. Nancy Pelosi doesn't get her way. We get our way, for God's sake. It's America. We've got a God-given Constitution. That's our supreme law of the land. Nothing supersedes it. We, the people, are the only legitimate government in America. Get that through your heads, all you people. You say, I'm a ruler, I'm Trump, I'm Nancy Pelosi, I'm Chucky Schumer. You know what? If you're not somebody in the sight of God, then you're nobody. You're nobody, and he's more special than anybody else. God's an egalitarian if he's one thing. There are some characters and qualities about God, attributes, that are very clear, and that is certainly one of them. No child would have any respect, any regard for a parent that played favorites. They'd fire him. You got the wrong God, man. You imagine things about God that aren't true? You fire him. Are you choosing to be delusional, to be self-deceived, to be willfully ignorant about these issues that are as clear as the light of day to any thinking person? Issues a child can understand? The logic, the why and wherefore, the rhyme and reason of things I talk about, explaining supply and demand capitalism and progress relative to that. The nuts and bolts. And people are going to play like they're stupid, like they don't get it, they don't understand. It's a bunch of bull. You know, I like to see things simmering down in Hong Kong. I'm talking about current recent events. It's good. They're doing this voting. And these people are just very good Americans over there. I like it. And China is meeting, you know, they're meeting their match with Hong Kong, the Hong Kongian people. Fantastic. Good. I'm so glad it came out that America supports the Hong Kong people. Fantastic. Good. Good. I mean, I love the Chinese people are wonderful, but their government sucks. You know what? Okay? It does. It's fascist, totalitarian, dictatorship. It's a piece of crap of a government. Could you imagine that flying here in America? We want to go the opposite way of that crap, man. These people aren't free at all. It's a fascist kind of system. But we've been going that direction for decade upon decade. We had a coup. The money printing class took over America in 1963. And we haven't had this country back since then. We haven't had any semblance of true capitalism since then or anything else good. We've lost our Christian nation status. Okay, this idea, this precept that we stand for freedom and liberty and justice for all this crap is down the tubes, man. We got to regain that. We got to get some respect again from the world. We're the laughing stock. We need to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. And you know what? We're in a lot of trouble. We need God's help. That's it. I mean, that's the best I can tell you. But, you know, I do admire the productivity of the Chinese people. I mean, you ever walk into a $1 store, doesn't it blow your mind what you could get for a buck? I mean, this is fantastic. So, you know, I admire the productivity, and I just wish they were all prosperous, just like I wish for Americans and everybody else all around the world, that we were all financially free. And we see the system works fine. The difference is people go to work with a bounce in their step, with joy in their heart and a song on their lips instead of the way it is. And we're even more productive. That's it. We're working far lower hours because we're all doing jobs that matter. All those other jobs that revolve around the problem of desperate poverty persisting are gone. No more need for a social welfare industry. No more need for all this crime and the crime industrial complex. No more need for the dubious warfare industrial complex or the debt industrial complex. All those things go away. So all those jobs, all those people are twiddling their thumbs. We're doing productive stuff. We're lucky if we get to work 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 hours a week. You understand? I mean, it's mind-numbing when I think about what we could have as opposed to what we have. The departure is night and day. It's 180 degrees apart. Another title might be Toleration of Tyranny is Complicity with Tyrants. Or how about Twisted Irony? The broad path to destruction happens to be quite popular. You know, this impeachment nonsense. Why don't we talk about what a feckless pustule of a President Obama was, a perfect puppet for this new world order cabal? How poverty exploded under Obama and the debt exploded under Obama. Okay, you know what? All these disingenuous people sicken me. I can't stand any of them. You know, this universal health care business, and then people poo-poo the universal basic income. Well, what is a very unhealthy thing to do that caused a lot of people to be in the emergency room? Homelessness. People want, cut the cost. Well, what do you do right there? You end homelessness. You don't want to pay for people, falling ill and dying out in the cold. I mean, Jesus Christ, help us. We're in so much trouble. You know, CBS 60 Minutes did a piece with this... who's this idiot reporter? I can't remember his name. But you know what? They didn't mention anything about, they're talking about homelessness in Seattle. And, they don't mention of the $50 billion a year being poured into this, how much cheaper it'd be to just buy people houses and solve the problem once and for all. End the freaking problem instead of maintaining it, making it worse. Not a mention of that. And all the collusive special interest groups, and how in order to get people incentivized to pay the ever-growing exorbitant rents and mortgages, they've got to be able to point to people dying out in the cold. Well, you either do it, you comply and conform and keep paying that higher rent, higher mortgages, and call it a good thing, or else you're dying out there in the cold. You might have to commit a crime in order to survive. I don't care. I'm profiting off it. And if you die out in the cold, we don't care. We could ship in young, strong workers, strong links in the chain at any time. So all you weak links die. Do the earth a favor. You won't be burning any carbon if you're dead. Meanwhile, they keep shipping in young, strong refugees, immigrants, right? Telling you you're un-American if you're not for it. Even though we got all these destitute people in America living in tent cities in squalor, all our native-born sons and daughters. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to conflate these issues and say, well, why are we bringing people in if we can't take care of our own people? But these people are desperate. What about our own people? Our own American citizens? I'm no xenophobe. I say let the whole world come into America, and I mean that. In an orderly fashion. First come, first serve. Okay? Let it make sense, though. Take care of our own destitute people first. And then you can bring everybody in the whole world in. But if we make things better in America, you're going to see things get better all over the world by extension, because we are the most influential nation. And that's why I blame America for screwing it up all over the world. Like a cancer, it's spreading. It started in California. It's sweeping across America. And by extension, the freaking whole planet. But at least in California, hey, we're going to be done with it first. Because this is where it's going to hit the rubber's going to meet the road. This homelessness issue, Gavin Newsom's finally doing something about it. He's not letting the issue go away. Good for him. I don't care if he's a Republican or a Democrat or anything else. If he's fighting the good fight, if he's a righteous, decent human being that's got a semblance of conscience, a fear of the Lord in his soul, I'll back him 100%. Hell, I'll die for the man. That's what I want to see. I want to see leaders doing this stuff. Good for you, Gavin Newsom. Good for you, brother. Remember what's said about dissent. Some people say, oh, I'm un-American, I'm bashing America and all this. I say, dissent is the highest form of tyranny. Those that care the most, okay, are the most critical. It's called constructive criticism. You know, remember back in school when you got one kid in the class that was always, the smart